So I checked eBay and it's gonna take about 5 days for me to get all the stuff I ordered in. It's mainly carb parts, tank cream, you know, stuff like that. Stuff that I will need in order to get this bike running. But that's like 5 days of me not doing anything. And that doesn't sit well with me. Idle hands are the devil's plaything. So what I'm gonna do is I am just gonna go ahead and get started on stripping the frame so that I can paint it, because there's too many. I mean, the frame is just in not the best state in the world. There's too many little rust spots here and there, and I don't really care for it. So the best way to do it is just to take the engine out, strip it down to nothing, and just, you know, just repaint the frame. And also it'll be pretty easy for me to clean the engine if it's out. I can't make it spick and span without completely disassembling the engine, but you know, I'll do the best I can with just some degreaser and a wire brush. But what I wanted to show is how I go about taking care of getting all the wiring back in the right position. So like when I'm going to be assembling it again. So I got some tape and I got a marker. Now what I do is I don't give a damn about the wiring diagram or anything like that. All I care about is just numbers. So these are all the wires that go into the headlight. So let's just see if I can, or I'll use this one as an example because it's just one wire. So this one connects to that one. So this is what we're going to do. Gonna rip off a little bit of tape, write a 1 on it, and then just wrap it here. Just write a 1, and then I'm gonna take another piece of tape and wrap the other side of the connection and write a 1 on that one as well. Maybe I'll just do this from here. That's a 1. Yep. So that I know I don't have to look at like, I won't have to look at the diagram and be like, let's see, red with blue stripe goes red, blue stripe. Okay, that's that. I don't care about that. Or like, oh, this is headlight. I don't need to know what it goes to. The only thing I care about is 1 goes with 1. That's all I care about. And that's how I'm going to go about disconnecting all this stuff. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, etc., etc. The coils, I'm just going to mark. Is this 1 coil? Oh, it's just 1 coil, so whatever. And yeah, I'm just going to do that for every single connection of the bike. It's going to have its little corresponding number to it. And that is how I take apart wiring diagrams and put them back together as simply as I possibly can, because it can get really complicated really quick. But this is a nice, easy way to make sure that you're doing it right. Alright, all the headlight stuff is disconnected. Now we're at the coils. Now, coils are pretty easy to distinguish because they're not all the wiring isn't all jumbled up in the front like everything under the headlight. And it's all color coded. Blue goes with blue. And these weather pack connections only go one way. So it's pretty easy to discern what goes where. But I still know me, and I know that I don't know much. So I'm still going to label these. Just because, but I might label it differently. I might be like left side coil, right side coil, horn, you know, a little bit different because it'll be a little easier to distinguish. I don't need to go into as much detail in this part of the bike. Bit of bad news, the carb boots are torn. You can see it pretty clearly right there. That sucks. That's like 40 bucks. But, you know, when on an old bike like this, things that fail the most, these guys. If you're buying an old bike, you pretty much are guaranteed you're gonna have to replace these. So, it sucks. Moving on to the rear left side of the bike, fuse panel, flasher relay. It's down in there. flasher relay. Not sure if this works. I'll test it to make sure, but because it wasn't flashing the turns, but that might have been because of the ignition switch or something. I have no idea. But this is a very, very simple and inexpensive part to replace. So I'm not going to bitch and moan about that like the carb boots. I did, however, find something interesting. If you look here, this is not how you do a ground. That's not how you ground stuff. First of all, this is painted metal. Okay? That's not a good conductor. I mean, that's not a ground. And for God's sake, man, look at how corroded that is. Like, you just don't do that. You just don't do that. So I'm gonna tape this one and mark it up as ground. Do the same as these, number these guys, because it gets a little bit more convoluted back here as far as like what goes to what. I haven't even looked in the fuse box yet to see what's going on in here. And it looks like these fuses are all still together with spares. Wow, how about that? Saved me a couple cents, not bad. But I'm gonna keep marking these and keep going around. There looks like there's a wire coming off the harness here that goes down to, I guess, the stator, or I don't know. It's something underneath the chain guard here. So I'm gonna have to remove that to take this off. But you know, as far as electrics on the rear of the bike, I mean, past this, it's gonna be all the taillight stuff on the top of the fender. And then I'll flip you around and show you the regulator side, regulator rectifier side. And yeah, we're pretty much done here. There's not too much else to do. I just wanted to note something interesting on Kawasaki's attempts to make something idiot-proof. These wires that feed into the fuse box, you'll notice there's one female and one male for each side of the connection. There's a male female on the fuse box side. There's a male female into the harness. So it's not like two males, two females where you could easily switch, like mix them up. It's a male and a male and a female. There's no way to switch it up. They're not going to go together. So it's pretty interesting. Way to go, Yamaha. Or Kawasaki. This is a Kawasaki. Here's the right rear side of the bike where we have the negative battery cable. It goes to ground. Definitely make sure to mark that. And then just some more connections having to deal with the rectifier and the starter relay right there. And this stuff, you don't want to get it wrong. I see a few loose wires. I'm gonna have to look and see what this goes to. Red with black, or black with a yellow stripe. I'm gonna have to look at the diagram to see what the hell that's about. Because I don't like seeing things exposed like that. That, I don't know. Maybe it's supposed to be a ground. I don't know. I don't think black with yellow is ground, but it probably goes to something. I'll look it up. But for now, I'm gonna label it. And then just keep doing what I'm doing. 1, 2, 3, blah, blah, blibbity, blobbity, blue. And the only thing that remains is just the taillight wiring, and that's on top of the fender. And frankly, I mean, come on. Like, you don't really need to see that. It's pretty self-explanatory. So in order to completely remove this harness, I'm going to have to take off the side cover on the left-hand side, the chain guard, or the sprocket guard, whatever you want to call it. Because there's two wires going into the harness, going from the harness into the engine. I'll probably have to deal with the stator and all that jazz. So I'll take those off, and then I will be able to remove all the electrics off the bike. And we're one step closer to painting the frame. So it's time to start removing this side cover so I can get the remainder of the battery, or the wiring harness removed. So first things first, let's get rid of this funky shift lever. And as you can notice, I've been liberally, very, very generously spraying PB Blaster penetrating fluid all over this bike. I've already put it on the engine mounts because, you know, those are going to come off soon anyways. Might as well make it a little bit easier. Come on, buddy. Alright, maybe I need to pry it a little bit. Come on now. I'm gonna wrestle with this off camera. And through the magic of editing, it's off. So let's start removing all these guys. And again, I am not going to film it because why would I? I tell you what, removing old 30 to 40 year old Allen bolts that probably haven't been retightened ever, maybe? That is like the most stressful thing in the world, is because these stupid things will strip so fast. And luck was on my side today because none of them stripped. Amazing. So I got the side cover off, and oddly enough I had to loosen up the footrest in order to do it. And this is going to give me an opportunity to look at the chain is obviously going to be replaced. I know that. I have a replacement already. But it looks pretty good here. The front sprocket looks like it's in really great shape. No issues there. Let's see where this wire goes and if there's any junctions. Yep, there's one right there. Cool. And there's another one right there. And there's one right there. Holy Jesus. Alright, so I'm going to mark all these, but first things first, I'm going to clean these up because I'll have no idea what goes where if they're all covered in grease. And that was something I just unhooked. I'll make sense of this, I swear. But that's the keeper. Remove that. That'll allow me to... Actually, I'm going to do that right now. Screw it. You know, I was wearing gloves earlier, the earlier videos, and now that I'm actually in really nasty territory in the chain grease realm, I'm not. Oh, I think that might be my first stripped anything right there. Let's see if I can get a fatter screwdriver. Hopefully I won't have to do anything drastic here, but if that strips, then it's really not that big a deal. Alright, I'm gonna hit that with some PB Blaster and hope that it loosens up a little bit, because I really don't want to be replacing anything if I don't have to. But you know, self-explanatory, same as before. Clean these up, put a bit of tape on either end, and then I should be able to completely remove the harness from there. So hurrah, good shit. So basically I couldn't get this bolt, it's completely stripped. However, I found out that the loop is open, so it doesn't matter. I can just bend it up and undo all the connections. So now the wiring is completely free. Let's see if I can wrestle it out of here. Yep, here it comes. Still 1, 2. There's one more ground I gotta take care of, it looks like, but that's the end of it. That's the whole wiring diagram right there. Hi, buddy. That's it. I think that's good enough. I'm just gonna bolt this guy back in. This dirty, disgusting thing. And, you know, just to hold on for safekeeping. Actually found that Am I still recording? Hi. I found out the master link for the chain is right there. So I'm gonna hit that master link with some PB Blaster because eventually, probably tomorrow, this chain's got to come off. So yeah, better to get that started. Battery tray needs to be taken out, but that's no big deal. This is something. Does it go here? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Perhaps. Perhaps not. I have no idea. Wait, no, it's color coded. It goes like this. Oh, I'm smart. I know color. Put this back in, and that's going to be it for today.